Hi everyone, this is Sharon. I am happy you've joined me today for part 3 in my journal making series. Today we are going to glue in our text block to our spine, and then we're going to finish off the inside covers and add some final touches to the cover, and our journal will be completed. Last time we stitched our signatures to this fabric piece, and now I'm going to glue that down. I have my strings loose because I haven't done anything with them yet, so I'm just pulling them out to the middle here so they're out of the way when I'm working with my glue. First of all, if I set this down here and look where I want to seat it, I can see that I need to glue pretty much to the edge of this gray tape. So I'm going to cover this whole area with glue before I set this in. Just to talk about my glue a little bit, for this step I always use a PVA glue. This is the brand I use. I get it on Amazon. I've got it listed in my description as part of my favorite Amazon supplies. And PVA I find is a really good use for this step in the process. It's somewhat flexible. It does have a little bit slower drying time than a lot of other glues, but it's really strong and it does the job. So I pour a little bit of that glue into my little plastic cup here, and then I use a paintbrush and I'm just going to spread it across my spine. And make sure it's nice and thick. Don't want it too globby. I usually spread it out pretty evenly so that it doesn't seep through my fabric too much. And like I said, I'm going to bring it out to the edge of this gray tape. If I go over the top, no big deal because that's all going to be covered up. Go over the top of my lace piece, make sure that's saturated well so everything sticks down really good. Okay, I've got it coated how I like it. And now I'm going to take my text block and get it situated and centered where I want it. So I'm looking top to bottom and left to right. I have to say, this is my least favorite step of all the steps in making a journal. Just because it's kind of fiddly and I'm always worried about getting it in straight. And it's kind of a permanent thing. It's not something you can redo like ephemera or some of the other steps. So I'm always mostly concerned about just trying to get it in here straight. Okay, and then I also take a little bit of time just to kind of feel on both sides to make sure that look is looking straight. I'll flip my cover up a little bit to take a look at whether I think it's in there straight, and that looks pretty good actually. So now I'm just going to start pressing down on the fabric. And then I also use a bone folder to go in between my signatures. Just kind of press that down a little bit. And really, if you just take your time and go slow, once you get into it, it really isn't that bad, and it goes pretty quickly. It's just that minute or two where you're trying to get it in there straight, that's kind of nerve-wracking. Okay, and now that I've got it down, and I think I've got everything, good contact on everything, I am just going to take my sides, and I usually just prop them up ever so slightly. That seems to work best for getting things flat. And I'll find something for this side. All my little props here. And then I sometimes we'll take a clip. Let's see if I've got one handy. I didn't prep for that. Here we go. And I will just clip my pages up so they don't flop down and come in contact with the glue on the sides. Okay, so I am going to let this sit probably for a good hour to dry before I do my next step. Okay, I've had my fabric drying for about 2.5 hours now, and I think it's pretty dry, and we are ready to add some paper to the inside of our covers. I many times use digitals to cover the insides, and what I do is take a look at my first page and my last page and see what might match up with those along with my fabric. I did not find anything that really sat right with me for these pages, so my backup is usually to use some vintage paper. So I pulled out a couple of pages. These are really old book pages that I purchased from Rachel at Rexy Creations. They're Italian and they're on this really beautiful old rag paper, got a nice texture. I cut these down to size to fit my covers. And then I just folded in this one edge here, this outside edge, just to make it a little thicker and a little bit stronger. Normally, I will use Fabri-Tac glue to glue these in. If I'm doing a digital, I'll print it on a little bit heavier paper, like maybe 26 or 28 pound. These book pages are quite thin, so I think what I'm going to do is use my glue stick instead and just glue the backs of these, because I'm afraid that the Fabri-Tac might leak through and leave marks on the front. So I'm going to cover the back with glue stick, and then I'm just going to run a little bead of Fabri-Tac along this edge where it goes up against the fabric, and just to make sure that that stays down. So I've got my 2 sheets. I'll put this one aside and start gluing my front one. So I'm using Scotch Permanent Glue Stick. I find that that's quite reliable, and I'm going to put a nice generous coat of that on the back of this. Make sure I get all of my edges. Okay. And then I'm just going to lay this here and take my Fabri-Tac and just run a bead along this edge. Okay, now we will come over to our front cover. I like to just tip it sideways like this and then kind of line up this corner and then make sure this is straight along there, and then top and bottom. Get rid of my sticky fingers and then just start pressing that down. Making sure there's good contact, and then along this little kind of ridge where the fabric is, just kind of bring that around there. And then I usually use my trusty brayer, and I'll just smooth that down nice and flat. Okay, and that is the inside of our front. And then we will move to the back cover. And I will glue the back side of this. Once again, I will add my bead of glue, Fabri-Tac glue, just to this edge. I might get a little thick there. Okay, and then we will line this one up. The thing with Fabri-Tac and glue stick is you do have ample time to slide things around if you need to. I always like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my brayer again and just get those edges down nice. Okay, I'm going to let the glue on these dry for just a few minutes, and then I will be back with final touches. Okay, our inside cover sheets are dry. In the meantime, I went through and added back in all of my ephemera pieces into my pockets and tucks and belly bands. So we filled her back up again. The only other thing I have left to do is put something, charms or beads or something on my strings. I'm not sure what I want to do with that yet, so that's something I have to think about. And then for the front cover, sometimes I will add images to the front cover or lace or something. Many times with these old books, I really hate to cover them at all because I just think they're so beautiful as they are. So for this one, I'm really thinking to leave it as is and maybe incorporate a wrap around it. So I dug through some of my doilies, round ones, and found this crocheted one. And I've got this kind of lacy netting that's stretchy, and I just put that through a couple of the holes. So I'm thinking I will just wrap that around and tie a bow here, and then maybe add a little bit of blingy jewelry. And then I also thought I would tuck a couple of things behind that. So I found this image of St. Margaret of Scotland, and then this antique postcard of St. Joseph Church in Milwaukee from 1910. So if I tuck those two behind there, I think we'll have a nice looking cover for our journal. I will be doing a final flip through of this journal so you can see how I finished off my front cover in that flip through, and I will put a link to that video down in my description of this video. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I appreciate you so much coming along with me today, and until next time, bye-bye.